Hello and welcome to the video. This is a look at the brand new goggles from Fatshark. We have the Attitude V5s. We have something called the Scout, which is something very new from Fatshark. And we also have the cheap and cheerful version 3 of the Recon goggles that originally I first looked at that were part of the Fatshark 101 system, which was a way to get into FPV flying relatively inexpensively with all the bits you needed. Now these have all just come out. I'm lucky to say that all the ones that we've got here have are the kind of release versions. So for example, one of them has a slightly different lens in from some of the other previous reviews that you may have seen. So everything I'm going to be looking at is how it will be if you order them. So let's actually go through each of these in turn, have a look at the price, the features, and after me using them for a week or so, what I actually think about them. So the first goggle we'll look at is the Fatshark Recon V3. Now, as I said in the introduction, this isn't the first version of this. I guess that's a bit of a giveaway by the fact it says V3. The original version I saw was in that Fatshark 101 kit. Now, this is aimed, I guess, at those pilots who haven't tried FPV and want to give it a go, but don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds or dollars to try the experience. I think this would also be a great goggle for those who are looking to add FPV to maybe their ground car or boat or other vehicle, not just for flying. Now this has a 32 channel receiver inside, auto scan feature to help you find the model's FPV signal if you're not sure which one it's on, charges via the USB and powered by a single 18650 battery, a whopping 55-degree field of view. The screen is 16:9 format and not switchable, so if you have a 4:3 camera it will squidge it out so that it fits into the 16:9 screen. The 800 by 480 pixel screen that's in here is very clear and bright and easy to see. Has the standard Fatshark analog DVR in here with a playback function, and the firmware is upgradable via the USB. Now there is an on-screen display in here that I really like, which shows you the band, the channel that you're at, the battery level, and also the RSSI detail. And the RSSI is useful to know when you're starting to get a little bit too far away with you when you're flying FPV. So when that signal's starting to drop, you know it's time to turn around and come back towards yourself. The big thing about this, and also the next set of goggles that we'll have a look at, the Scout, is that by looking at this very compact box goggle style, you're going to think that, well, all they've done is what everyone else has done, where the actual back of the goggle is the screen, and then there's some kind of lens arrangement in front of that. But that's actually not what's going on inside here. The first time I saw what Fatshark have done in these goggles was with the Fatshark Transformers. And that's where they have a 45-degree mirror, which means that even though the physical body of the goggles is pretty compact, the focal length is very long. So it's very easy to focus on the screen. Now that whacking 55-degree field of view is probably a little bit big for me. I fly a lot of my craft with on-screen displays with all of the information cluttered around the outside of the screen. And I find that flying with these, I'm having to move my eyes away from the center of the image to the edge so that I can see the battery status, height, and all the other things that I like to keep an eye on. But a testament to how good the optics in this thing are is that I've had pilots with sight correction of -4 to +1.5 use them and be able to focus on the screen really well. So as box goggles go, these are probably, with the exception of the next ones we're about to look at, the easiest to focus on and use if you can't get on with binocular goggles. And I have a couple of friends who can't do that because they have an astigmatism or they have a sight problem. So if you have those, then this is a great set of goggles to try out, particularly if you just want to try FPV and don't want to break the bank. A couple of things you need to be aware of with these though. There's no diversity in here. There aren't any opportunity to change modules out. What you see is what you get, and I guess for somebody that's coming into the hobby, that's going to be perfect. There's not a lot of other things messing about you need to do. There isn't an earphone jack, so you can't hear the sound from the model. There isn't a fan in here as well, so on a hot humid day there isn't a chance that the lenses in here will steam up a little bit, so you need to make sure that you're stood in the shade and that you are not too hot and sweaty, and the lenses aren't cold as well, because if they are, then the moisture from your face and eyes will condense out on it when it's a bit warmer. No case supplied with these at all, and there is the linear antenna supplied. I wouldn't use it with a linear antenna if you're going to fly. Linear antennas are actually great if you're not going to be using a car or a boat where they're not going to be rolling and flipping around. If you are going to be using that, then I would put a linear antenna on your car, boat, or whatever it is, or the ground vehicle. If you're going to fly, then I'd probably invest in a circular polarized antenna. The other downside with this is, despite the fact that it has a fantastic focal range and very easy to see that wonderful big screen, 55 degrees field of view, there isn't room for spectacles in here. So if you do need spectacles for sight correction, then unfortunately these probably aren't going to be the goggles for you. Next ones to look at then are the Fatshark Scouts. Now, when I originally saw this stuff listed, I just assumed it was an upgraded version of the Recon V3 that we've looked at, but it isn't. This is something very new and very different from Fatshark. Costs about £100 or $100 more than the Recon V3. Again, 32 channel receiver. This time it has inbuilt diversity. So there is a circular polarized antenna that's supplied that fits on the top. Even has a little plastic nut that goes around the bottom of the SMA connector, so you can screw it in nice and tight, which is a nice touch. And at the front of the goggle, that is actually hiding a nice patch antenna. So this is proper diversity with 2 receivers, and that comes ready to go straight out the box. Again, it's got the auto scan feature, but nicely this time it has a demisting fan. And that comes on automatically when you plug the power in, and that helps in bright sunny days just to make sure it doesn't get all misted up when you're out flying with the things. It again has a huge 50-degree field of view. Again, it's a 16:9 format. The screen in here has a much higher resolution than the Recon V3, and it also features an upgraded analog DVR inside. It's running at 60 frames a second and produces a .mov file rather than .avi, and in the testing I've done here, it seems to work very well. Also supports 64 gig rather than 32. The big deal about these is that this, for the first time in Fatshark goggles, has an on-screen display that accesses all the different parts of the goggle in one easy-to-use menu. So the DVR, the diversity setup, the settings for the individual goggles are all in one easy-to-access and navigate menu. And that's a feature that I've never seen in Fatshark goggles before. Fatshark goggles tend to be lots of discrete elements put inside a shell that work very well. This feels like it's one integrated setup, which feels very modern. And there are lots of extra little tricks in here too. It's not just the menu. There is also an accelerometer, which is detecting when the goggles are being moved. If the goggles are set down and left alone, then you can turn on the auto power off, where they'll beep at you, and eventually they will turn themselves off to conserve battery power. Again, has that fantastic focal length. In fact, the pilot that tried it, that had a -4 prescription for their glasses, found it easier to view the image in these than in the Recon V3s. So if anything, these are slightly easier to focus on. But even if you do need glasses, then the really good news is that these goggles do fit them. There are recesses cut out in the side. The padding is a little bit tight, so I would recommend probably putting your glasses inside the goggles and then putting the whole thing onto your face rather than trying to push your face with the goggles through the pads, but they will definitely support it so long as your glasses aren't too big. There are lots of additional ports on here as well. There is a headphone jack, there's AV in, there's a USB-C port, there's also the SD card on the side and an auxiliary port too. Now be aware that there's no ability to change the internal diversity receiver. What you get is what you're going to have to deal with. The other thing in here that I noticed, there isn't any RSSI detail in the menu system at the top, just showing you which antenna is being used and also the signal strength, which I was hoping to have after I'd seen it in the cheaper goggles. Maybe that's going to be added with a firmware update. And sadly, there's no switching between the different aspect ratios in here. So if you're using a 4:3 aspect ratio camera, it will stretch the image. It doesn't look terrible, but be aware of that. Last set of goggles are the most expensive in the range, about another £100 more than the Scout. This time they have a 600 by 400 OLED display. These are the updated version of the Fatshark Attitude V4s that I looked at about a year ago. The Attitude V4s are very nice goggles, and putting an OLED display in them have made very nice goggles even better. My daily drivers are Fatshark HDO goggles with the OLED display, and they have been used pretty much every day for the past year, and they're my go-to goggles. And I find that using OLED has spoilt me a little bit. You go to ones that use LCD panels and it feels a little bit washed out. The contrast isn't as good. This time there's a inbuilt modular diversity receiver in here with auto scan and a band analyzer as well. It does come with a case, and it has all the usual things that you'd expect to find on the Attitude goggles. So it's got the demisting fan, has the battery on the strap on the side, very small compact form factor. This time it's a slightly smaller 30-degree field of view. The screen is a slightly wacky aspect ratio. It isn't 4:3 and it isn't 16:9. It's kind of in between the two. But what that means is that it shows both aspect ratios nicely. The way I thought I'd show that is I've printed a piece of paper here with a circle on with that 6:3 and 4:9 using a runcam camera that will allow me to switch between the two aspect ratios. Let me show you a couple of images. First of all, here's what the 4:3 image looks like. Apologies, it's very difficult with the very rounded lenses and plastic covers that are actually inside these goggles to get a clear view of the screen, but that's what 4:3 looks like, and that's what the 16:9 looks like. So both of them display really nicely on the panel. It's got the standard Fatshark analog DVR with playback. Again, this is the 32 gig AVI version like is on the Recon V3. And this time there's no on-screen display as such. All the information about the channel, the signal strength and stuff is shown on the little display that's part of the diversity receiver on the outside. A couple of things to be aware of. Comparing it with the original V4, the data port has disappeared from the bottom. Both of the bays in here are being used for the diversity setup, so there isn't an opportunity to add something like a head tracker or something in here. And the other thing that surprised me was when I first looked at the specs, that 600 by 400 OLED display felt like a very low resolution display. But in reality, what I'm finding is the fact that the OLED technology works so nicely. Those blacks are really black, the contrast is great, the color saturation and brightness of the panel is absolutely fab, but then you'd expect it to be. It's an OLED setup. Comparing the image with goggles that are using LCD panels with much higher resolution, I still prefer the image on these Attitude V5s. Be aware there's no OSD in the screen, apart from the contrast, brightness and DVR controls that have always been there, so you're going to have to just pop them off your face if you want to have a look at which channel you are working on and your RSSI values. But these Attitude V5s are a really nice upgrade to the Attitude V4s that we had about a year ago. So hopefully that overview has been interesting and helped you understand what the pluses and minuses are of each of these different new goggles from Fatshark. Now, if I was given a choice of which of these three would I keep if I was only allowed to keep one of them, interestingly, it wouldn't be the Attitude V5s. The Attitude V5s are really nice goggles. That OLED display that I'm used to because I fly HDOs as my daily drivers looks as beautiful in here as it does in the HDOs. You get much better clarity, the contrast and definition, particularly in the shadowy areas of the image, is far superior to an LCD display. But the ones that have really impressed me are actually these Scout goggles. The upgraded DVR, all the different ports on the outside, the way that they perform, the thoughts about things like the menu system inside, these would be my pick out of all three. Sure, they're not as small and compact as stylish as maybe something like the Attitudes, but in terms of probably showing what Fatshark are working on for the future, I think this is probably going to be the closest. The way that you can access everything from one colour, easy to navigate menu, and the fact it has things like accelerometer inside that detects when you're not using it so it can power off and save the battery, the way it's all laid out just feels like a much more modern set of goggles. So I'm fascinated to see what Fatshark is going to come out next, because the technology that's in here would be great to see in some of the other form factors that Fatshark have. So whether or not you're a new pilot looking to get into the hobby and try it out and want something cheap and cheerful from one of the leading manufacturers, or whether or not you want something that's going to have diversity with a lot more features, or whether you are looking for something that's a lot more small and compact, it looks like Fatshark have got you covered. The other benefit, of course, with having a Fatshark goggle is the fact that all of this stuff is covered by the Fatshark warranty. Now, for those of you that have ever had to call on Fatshark warranty, you'll know how good it is. Occasionally, I do get messages from people who have bought other goggles from third parties in places like China, and if they fail after the first 7 days, then the chance of getting them repaired or fixed or even returned is pretty much zero. So you end up with a $200 or $300 or £200 or £300 doorstop. The cool thing with Fatsharks is that if something goes wrong, then you just raise a ticket and Fatshark will take them back from you and sort them out. And that kind of support on these goggles is worth a little bit extra. It does mean that if you do one day fire them up and something isn't working, then you haven't wasted that cash. So thank you for sticking with that. Hopefully that's interesting. If you have any specific questions about any of these goggles, then do pop it down below. But again, for me, the star of the show, surprisingly, has been these Scout goggles. Thanks for watching the video and watching right to the very end. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you like the video and like what I'm doing here, then hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon too. If you really like what I'm doing, you can go the extra mile and become one of my Patreons for access to me directly for support and also giveaways and regular updates too. If you're looking for particular content, then check out the playlist. I organize all of my videos into playlists, so if you're looking for a particular topic, you can find everything here. If it's called Introduction To, it's designed to start very simply and build on that simple introduction to teach you all about it. If it's called For Beginners, then that is really aimed at people who are brand new to that part of the hobby. You can also search on YouTube for anything that you're interested in using the search function at the top. So iNav Painless 360 will find all of my videos and even the playlists around iNav. So thanks again for watching and happy flying.